Hello, wonderful students. Today we're going to be finishing the chapter My Plastic Tia, and we're going to be reading pages 57 through 60. Tia Petra kept pouring me glass after glass of hibiscus water as I went on and on about the school. We heard a loud knock on the door, and in walked Mama, Papa, Lucy, and Berta. They sat down at the table, and Tia Petra brought in more buñuelos and a new pitcher. As everyone helped themselves, Tia Petra sat down at the head of the table and cleared her throat. She said how proud she was to have me as her godchild and how seriously she took her duty of overseeing my education. How impressed she was by St. Luke's, and how wonderful it was that I'd won one of the scholarships. She took a loud drink and said that I had promised her that I would work just as hard at learning to become a good comadre as I would at my school studies, and that I would write her every week from Austin, and she agreed to monitor my progress carefully. Pow! I hit the glass with my elbow. All 5 of us shot up frantically, grabbed the sides of the tablecloth, and jiggled it this way and that, trying to keep the red river from pouring onto the plastic-covered carpet. After cleaning up every last drop, Tia Petra stood up, smiled, and said, "My secret has done its magic again." She left the room and returned, carrying a roll of plastic, scissors, and a big spool of tape. "Sophia, come here," she said. She whispered, "Mija, trust me, don't move." She wrapped the plastic all around me and then took the tape and sealed me into it like one giant bean taco. Everyone started laughing, especially Lucy. "Yeah, she's always spilling stuff," Lucy cried. "She should go around like that." I couldn't believe it, and Tia had even asked me to trust her. But Tia Petra came and stood right beside me. She cleared her throat and then pointed at me. "Compadre, comadre, Lucy and Berta," she said, looking directly at my parents. "Yes, believe in plastic, but you can't keep Sophia sealed up. Let her go if that's her dream, and I promise you, as her godmother, that I'll help tutor her on everything she needs to know about her life here." Tia Petra leaned over and yanked the plastic off. Before we left, she presented me with a secret box. Inside, I found a big pen and a plastic-covered spiral notebook. My name was written in bold black letters on the front, and right below, "Lessons on Becoming a Good Comadre," in even bigger ones. "That's for your weekly letters to me," she said, and she gave me her blessing by laying her warm hand on top of my head and then closing her eyes for a second of silence. As we stood on the porch, Tia Petra said, "Wait, I want to talk to Berta and Sophia alone for a minute." Mama, Papa, and Lucy kissed her goodnight and went to wait in the car. "Berta, I'm your godmother too, right?" "Yes, Tia." "Well, I want you to help Sophia with her goal of going to that school." Silence. "Berta, Sophia needs you. She needs you to be her very first comadre." "Ay, Tia, but—" "But what, mija?" "I don't know if I want Sophia to go. It's so far away." "But it'll be good training for both of you. I'll teach you how to stay connected from afar. And when you get good at this, it'll be easier for you to learn to stay comadres with the dead." "With the dead? Tia, you're joking, right?" "No, Berta, being a comadre is never a joke. This is why you must always choose them carefully. A true comadre is forever." Silence. "So will you be Sophia's first one?" "But what do I have to do?" "Support her dreams, that's all. And hers is to go to that school." "But what if it's a big mistake?" "It's still her dream. She'll figure that out herself. And if it is a mistake, it's her mistake, and she'll have to learn from that, won't you, Sophia?" "Yes," I said. "But remember, Sophia, a comadre is always free to tell you what she thinks, like it or not." "Okay." "Yes, I think this will be very good training for both of you. So, Berta, will you do it?" "Well, I guess so, yes." "And Sophia, will you be Berta's first comadre too?" "Yes, of course. But I don't know what her dream is." Tia Petra laughed. "Oh, Bertita will have too many along her way. Just wait and see. That's the secret behind those great teeth of hers. She'll always be biting off more than she can chew." I laughed, and eventually Berta did too. We kissed Tia Petra good night. When we joined Papa, Mama, Lucy in Papa's old Ford, Berta said, Sophia, I'm so excited for you, really. They stared at Berta. Thanks, Berta, I said, smiling. Yes, thank you very much. As we drove home that night, I stared out at the passing darkness, and I felt I had never loved Berta more.